getting stabbed in the bottom of the foot.
We're going to be playing some Murder Mystery 2, made by our boy Nicholas.
Oh my god, she has a knife! She has a knife! Oh no!
The only thing is that I haven't played this game for like a year, and this game hasn't changed at all.
To understand how Murder Mystery became the massive juggernaut that it is today, we have to go all the way back to 2014, when EA were showing glimpses of their greed and Telltale Games were still making banger games. Murder Mystery back in 2014 was very simple, whether it be the maps being very linear, or the lobby just being four corners with images on it. However, simple is all that Murder Mystery really needed to be. But of course, to not let players get bored of the game so quickly, things like weapon effects were added into the game. These range from simple things like adding more time after getting a kill, to making you become the Flash after gaining a kill. But it wouldn't be until June where Nicholas's hard work really paid off. June would be a very big time for Murder Mystery as a whole, as it would go on to win 2 Bloxies in that month. One for a short film made by Cryptize being a parody of 3 different murder games at the time, and the other for having the most visits in that year. Nicholas has shown that this game is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, for Pete's sakes, it won 2 Bloxies in its first year of being released. But it would be a few months later on December 27, 2014, that the game we all know and love would be made. Murder Mystery 2 would release near the end of 2014 to a very interesting start. And when I say interesting, I mean 7 to 50 players losing their data interesting. These players, however, would be compensated with a very special item, the Corrupt Knife. Now, this knife was essentially a reskin version of the default knife, with the blade being gold and the crossguard being silver. But that would not stop the knife becoming one of the most popular and expensive items in Murder Mystery 2 in later years. But moving on from that huge data loss problem, new features like trading were added into the game, which would be one of the mainstays of Murder Mystery 2 and why so many people stick with the game even to this day. But 2015 was just around the corner, and man was there a lot of stuff added in. Things like a new crafting system, weapon boxes, item bundles, codes, game passes, and more were added in during this time. But the biggest things that happened that year would be the first ever Halloween and Christmas update. These updates would have things like new limited time event items, event tier systems, and more, which would prove to be a hit with players alike, seeing as these 2 updates alone have came back every single year to add in even more content than the last one. 2016 was just around the corner, and from then to 2020, the game would earn 4 Bloxies, 3 billion visits, and so much more to come.
Apocalypse Rising, Assassin, and the winner is Murder Mystery 2. Congratulations to the creator of Murder Mystery 2.
Murder Mystery 2 would greet 2016 by winning 2 Bloxies in one night. Holy sh! We would get some relatively small updates in the form of pets being added in and a small Easter event, just as an example. But the biggest thing to come out of 2016 was Xbox and mobile support. Letting mobile and console players onto the game would increase the player count significantly and give more access to more people. Oh, and there was merch too, but no one really cares about it. 2017 would arrive, but it would be a very quiet year for the most part. Besides a new mode getting added in, the lobby getting revamped, and the game getting 300 million visits, nothing really big happened. But 2018 would change that, with the game winning yet another Bloxy, this time for Best Lobby Design, reaching 1 billion visits, and switching from R6 to R15. The year would be pretty good for the most part. 2019 wouldn't be a letdown either, as Season 1 was released. This update would bring in a lot of new stuff from chroma weapons, which were essentially color-shifting versions of classic godlies, to making trading compatible on all devices. But 2020 would be the icing on the cake for Murder Mystery 2, as it would reach 3 billion visits and win another Bloxy, this time for being Xbox Players' Game of the Year. If you ask me personally, it's pretty inspiring to see what Murder Mystery 2 has accomplished over these past few years. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will lead us into our final part. ...2021 and 2022 really wouldn't have much to offer, in my opinion, compared to other years before it. And on top of that, there are a few things, in my eyes, that are ruining the game right now. And one of those problems being duping. Now, to understand what duping is, we need to understand what value is first. And to keep it short, it's what determines what sells and what doesn't, what's good and what's bad. I think you get the gist. Now, this is where a weapon called the Ice Wing comes into play, because back in 2022, it got mass duped. People were somehow finding a way to get thousands, hundreds of these things in their inventory. It was mass duped so much to the point where the worst vintage, which, must I say, vintages aren't doing well. They haven't been for a long time, because they got mass duped themselves a long time ago. It's doing worse than the worst one. Now, the Ice Wing wasn't the only weapon affected by this mass duping, but it's still scary to know that any weapon, regardless of its rarity or status, can have this happen to them and have their values completely die. My last problem that I'm going to talk about is just really the lack of minor events in general, like an Easter event, just as an example. But as of recently, the Valentine's update has returned, so that does give me hope that, okay, yeah, we're going to be getting something other than another $16.99 weapon set, yeah. And we're at the end of the video just like that. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to just say thank you to the 1,000 plus people who subscribed. It just means the world to me that people enjoy this kind of content, and I never expected in a million years for my last brief history video to blow up the way it did. I literally had to wake up to my friend mass pinging me on Discord to tell me that my video had gotten like 10,000 views, and then later 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, and just man, thank you. Just thank you for the support. Thank you for just I don't even know how to explain it. Just well, with all the sappy stuff out of the way, just if you enjoyed this video, share it, like, subscribe, it's free. Follow my socials down below. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. But this has been a brief history of Murder Mystery 2. Thanks for watching.